G'day, welcome back to Panoply Pictures. Oh yeah, so if you're not familiar with what's going on here, basically I've been in the industry most of my life. Various roles, producing, directing, fighting, acting, all that sort of stuff. Did stunt work, all that, you know. I worked in TV, I taught at a university, or did technical stuff at a university with the media people, like teaching students how to operate cameras and stuff. Yeah, and I've just always been in the industry, and I just love being on set and hanging out with people and making the movies. Although, what I wanted to do and what I've always wanted to try and do now that we've got the ability, right, is make a movie with people like you. And you can put out your ideas, you can put up your thoughts and all that sort of stuff. And if we get enough likes and subscribes and all those sort of things that the YouTube thing works with, if there's money coming in from that, we'll use that money to make the movie, right? Then you guys can have input into, which actors we use and all that sort of stuff as well. And I'd also like to document the process a little bit as well, like crazy ideas, like what we're doing now, to how you put it all together, get the producers, all those sort of stuff on board, and then, create the whole movie, and then, film some stuff, or even have, I've always wanted to have like live streaming on set, and maybe only, not for the whole time, maybe for like a half an hour, where, the internet can interact with the actors and the director and the, crew members, and, you'll be walking past an art department person, come over and just start chatting to the chat people and tell them what they're doing. So, I'm moving in this vase, we've aged it so it looks like it's from whatever period. All that sort of stuff, man, or explaining how, we're doing a bullet hole and we don't really want to, put off explosives and all that sort of stuff. We're doing it the real cheap way. We just drill a hole, put in some sawdust or dust or powder or whatever it is, run a tube and a little syringe, you go, and then the dust just puffs out of the wall, looks like a bullet hole. So, like bullet impacting and then the dust coming back out. So, I thought that would be sort of fun. So anyway, so this is the weird, so I'm just like, this is my little writing area I've got at the moment. And I've just been playing with this idea of death having a hitman to go and get rid of the people who are going to cause future problems or whatever like that, or for whatever reason, death's got its motivation. We'll work all that out later. And so our main character is sort of picked, right? Like if you're death, you got to select of everybody. Who do you pick? Who do you want? It's your show, really. So this person gets selected, and I kind of like to just initially just write like a story, and then I was saying on the other one, I'll sometimes release that. If it becomes a book, I'll release that book online, and if that book does well, then I'll be like, okay, well, this is a story that people like. Most of the books you put online, not much happens, but every now and then you get ones that are like, oh, people dig that one, that's the one we should turn into something. So I was sort of playing, and every movie I write, just straight up, main character is always called, well, the main character is always called Jake, and the girl is always called Zoe. And it's for no other reason that I just like those two names, and if I have kids one day, maybe I'll call them Jake and Zoe. But I just like those names. So the idea, I thought that if it's like, and it could be either way, right? It could be the girl could be the Jake or whatever. But if she then got pregnant and then gave birth to the kid and then died and then became Death's hitman, then to leave her partner to look after the kid and carry on, then she could come back and then see the kid grow over the lifetime, right? Because if you become an immortal hitman, you would be able to watch their life grow. You'll be able to see them forever, right? And when they die, you get to go, hey man, no, it sucked for you, but I was there the whole time, Although this character could manifest and in front, but then it's like, it would have to be a significant moment in that child's or partner's life that would require that, your dead character to manifest to not freak you out, really. I mean, that would freak me out if I had a partner who died and then 2 years later, I walked in, they're like, "I gotta tell you something, man. You gotta do this thing or that thing or, you know, whatever." It's like, oh man, should I do it now? I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing that's telling me to do the thing. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's the fun thing about it, right? You have to explore these sort of motivations and characters and why it sort of all happens, and then you got to work out. Like, you might have a situation where one character would do one thing, but because of who they are, that's why they did that. If you have another character do a different thing because of who they are, they do that thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, but they do it differently to get to the same point. You know, like one might take a passive way to do it. The other one might be like a bull at a gate and do it. So it's like you kind of got to work out where your sort of character sort of fit in there. But yeah, I had this idea about like abortion being mandatory and unregistered births are illegal, and the child be taken away and forced a slave for the government. It's like they had their certificate and then it got revoked. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. That could be just a dumb idea. But this is what I do initially. I just write all these ideas and just sort of put these things that could motivate a sort of character through, but then might not. Yeah, and then I thought you could have like this montage of the person who got selected to be the hitman for the devil, not for the devil, for the death. We could have them like lamenting that they could show themselves, but they can't show themselves because then that would create it weird for the person. Because the other thing that happens then, right? If you have a partner and then you have a kid with that partner and then you die, then the you know, mother or father and the kid continue on. If you were to show yourself to them, then they would know that you were there, right? And that sounds nice and romantic and all that sort of stuff in some way, but unless they see you leave and then can't ever come back, which is not what we're doing here. It's not like Ghost, where you just sort of went and sparkled and disappeared and it was all great. So it's not one of those sort of movies. It's like, you're going to be there around forever. If you then show them that you're there forever, then does that stop that person from going on and finding more love or whatever? Does it make the kid kind of crazy because the kid is saying things that other people won't believe? You know, does that have like an institutionalized or a social exclusion kind of thing that could come out of it? So these are all the sort of ideas that hopefully you'll help me with, right? Because I don't have the answers, we'll just make stuff up as we go along, right? That's how the whole process works. So I have been sort of jotting down sort of stuff about this sort of idea for a while now. And I did have it sort of... Oh, that was a silly idea I had. It was like, because I like to give some characters quirky sort of things, right? And I just thought you could have one character who, and staying in whole thing with the whole death thing, you could have one character who only shops at op shops, like never goes anywhere else, doesn't buy brand new stuff, only ever buys stuff that's come from death. And their theory is, because they're surrounded in death, that death won't notice them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like death gives off a smell or something. So it doesn't have to make sense, but if it makes sense to that character, and if this is, I would set up this character like you would either have them like that they're totally straight down the line with everything, and this is just like a real like quirky out of character thing, sort of maybe they're eccentric and, you know, they're one of them people who don't wear different stuff, you know, or keep things very simplistic or minimalist, all that type of stuff, you know. Then that kind of would work for them. Or if they were just like a complete conspiracy nut one. But the problem with those sort of characters, I think, is that they get really draining, really boring, really quick. You know what I mean? It's like, this one and that thing and this thing and that thing and this thing. And it's kind of like all their... Because you have a limited screen time, right? So you got 90 minutes or whatever you're doing. I like 90 minutes. I go with the Hitchcock theory that should be equivalent to a human bladder, right? I think it was him who said it. So when you start thinking about going to the bathroom or whatever, you suspend that disbelief in your brain, you leave the movie, you start thinking about going to the bathroom and do I leave now or do I hit pause, you know, and then you break it. So if it's too long, it can be too taxing on the body that you leave the creative side of it all, and then you just sort of, now you're just watching a movie, but you're not in the world, you know. So, yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking with that sort of character. Yeah, so I said, like I was like so saying, because he is, or the character is always like always going on about all this sort of stuff, and within the 90-minute sort of realm, then you might take out, say, 5 minutes of screen time, or 2.5 minutes, or 3 minutes over the 9-minute period. That dialogue is just throwaway dialogue, right? It can be fun, but if it's quirky and interesting and motivates the story and moves it forward, it's even better, right? But if it's just quirky, fun, throwaway sort of stuff, that's all right. But unless your sort of actor has the ability to be able to turn like a line or a dialogue or something into something which is just, how do you say that, Joe? It's like some actors can take a few words and then make it. I think the best one is Rowan Atkinson saying Bob, B-O-B. You know, it's like, how can you make a word Bob sound funny? I mean, like, that's when you've got an actor who's just, you can give many dialogue there, right? You know, I mean, like their whole thing could be talking about cookies, and then it's just gonna be amazing. But you don't always get that, you know. So, and not every actor can play like that, right? So not every actor has that thing. So if you just give it that quirky thing, then it's sort of, that actor becomes like an annoying character in the movie, and I don't think that's kind of fair on the actor or the audience. So I would rather that it's always something moving something forward, even if it doesn't appear to be moving forward sort of initially. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that for now. Like I said, the more, like, throw these ideas down. Like, this is the whole point of this, is that you interact, you write comments down. The most liked ones should rise to the top, I'm imagining, right? So then that's easiest for us to look through and then see whether the best ideas and the ideas that everybody's kind of agreeing on. And if it's a good idea and if it fits, well, let's put it in. We're making a movie, right? So who cares? All right, so all the best. I did want to do some movie trailer stuff, but I've got to find ones that aren't got people talking over the top of it and all that sort of stuff. But I'll just keep it really simple for now. We're just writing. But yeah, like I said, I would like to make it more exciting later on, and then take all of you through the whole filmmaking process, even if it's going out like location scouting, checking out costumes, you know, having different meetings about different sort of things that go on. It's a weird world, filmmaking, so it would be nice to, you know, open it up, let everyone get involved, and I would love the idea. This is kind of, I thought I would just love it if you guys have been interacting with it, and then some of your ideas get in the movie, and then later on you're watching the movie, and no matter where you are, where you're located, whatever, and if we've never even met, you can sit there and watch a movie and go, that little piece of it, that was my idea. Because we all have that. If you've been in the film industry long enough, you've always got that. You go, yeah, I made this suggestion on set. You know, man, somebody said my thing because you know, and that's how it works, right? And there was a good moment. We all freaking love it because your little, my friend puts it really, really nicely. It's like your fingerprint is on the film somewhere, you know? And it's almost like the more fingerprints you get on the film, is like the more it becomes kind of yours. You've touched it, you've played with it more than anybody else. But you know, if depending on where you are or how big your involvement is in a movie, it depends on how much big the fingerprint is or how many are placed. So, but that's the idea, is that we talk together, you put your stuff up there and we discuss it, and if it goes through, put it in the movie. If we make enough money with the subscribing and liking and ads, however it sort of works, then yeah, we'll try and make this movie for whatever we sort of can, and then take you along the whole process, and you get to see movies from now, which is just a lonely person sitting in their room writing, to full-on production, and then maybe red carpet or whatever, you know, who knows? I don't know what's going to go on. See what happens. Anyway, best of luck. If you're a filmmaker, if you're a writer, if you're creative, if you're doing all this sort of stuff, do a little tag thing, put it in the bottom or whatever. If you've got movies that you want to show, I've been thinking, you know, like if you had like them on different streaming sites or whatever, there are like affiliate links, or you can give me a link, I can put it up on the website, and then people can click it through and do all this sort of stuff. And we'll build it, we'll work out what we're doing, right? Anyway, so all the best. I'll see you next time.